Today we're going to learn how to paint the Orc Necromancer in under 90 minutes.
Then the entirety of the cosmos is accessible to each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So today the miniature we will be painting in under 90 minutes is the Orc Necromancer from Zombicide Green Horde. Today I'll be focusing on creating a focal point in the middle of the miniature, and you guys are going to see how I do it. So if you're ready, let us begin. Alright, welcome back to another 90-minute painting challenge. The Orc Necromancer has already been base coated in violet and red oxide. So we're going to begin. As mentioned in our learning from my mistakes video, for the Orc Necromancer I'll be focusing on the center mass of the miniature. So I'll be using the full value range for the middle, so it gives me the opportunity to use a lot more contrast and create more contrast for the middle. And for the arms, I'm only gonna highlight it maximum to a mid-tone. In the color choices, I'm gonna be using a more desaturated color scheme, only using a pretty much saturated violet for the skin, and for the rest I'll be using a sort of grayer version, so you won't see the leather skirt being more saturated. What you would see is that it will look a little bit less grey, so that the focus can be put to the middle of the miniature. So right here I'm just laying on some of the base colors. As with the rest of my 90-minute miniatures, what I'm doing is that I'll be focusing and creating a cool environment, so the highlights will be made using a cool blue. And what I've done is I've added in a little bit of fluorescent blue from scale 75 into the highlights to create this very cool blue effect. So as you guys can see, I'm highlighting the middle of the miniatures a lot more, whereas this blue highlight is used exclusively for the middle of the miniature, the chest, the abdomen, and the bicep, some parts of the face. However, this will not be used on the arms and the hands. See, on the hands I'm using a grey-violet highlight. A grey-violet highlight is going to be lower in value in comparison to this blue, which gives it a very unique value, increased value rather. So as you can see, while the base coats are pretty saturated, we should know that acrylic paints would dry a little less saturated. Alright, so for highlighting fabric, my trick is always to think about the planes which are exposed to the light and work on those planes first. You should be thinking of it as in the terms of planes rather than the individual folds and volumes, because that will be really complicated and it will make the material look a bit strange. So I'm redefining the shadows right now. So right now, as you guys can see, I think the biggest lesson is at the start, you want to paint as fast as you can and be as messy as you can, because now is the time for you to start making mistakes. Whereas after a while, it's not as wise because you got to be a lot more clean. So at this stage, I'm still base coating. The miniature will look a lot more defined, as you guys have seen in the previous video. So right now I'm doing a bit of part separation using dark violet in between the colors so that I'll increase the readability of the miniature. Alright, now so I'm just making sure that the entire miniature is properly highlighted. And look, I've only spent half an hour at this stage and the miniature is starting to look pretty decent already. So right now I'm gonna paint in some face paint and tattoos. This is another part of the components which I spoke about in learning from my mistakes, where you paint in additional details which are not sculpted onto the miniature. So one tip about painting straight lines is that you don't want to apply too much pressure onto the brush. Just gradually drag it. Do it as slowly as possible so that you can get an even as a width as possible. As you guys can see, right after adding in the tattoos and the face paint, the miniature looks a lot more defined. So right here, I begin creating the non-metallic metal while creating more part separation. If you want to learn more about my recipe of how I paint realistic non-metallic metal gold, you can always check out the video which we have created. So increasing the number of materials used for the miniature will greatly improve the readability and definition of the miniature. So I'm placing the extreme highlights onto the metal now. And I'm finishing up on the cloak. As you guys can see, the speed of painting has been a lot faster. It's something that I've learned and developed over this past month,
where I learn to pre-mix the colors first so that I can go back and forth, which allows me to create a very smooth blend and very quick. So now I'm pushing the highlights. As you guys can see in this part, I'm moving back and forth a lot in between the colors. This allows me to create a very smooth blend in a very short amount of time, which I find that it will be useful for all you guys out there. So if you're still watching right now, I thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed yet, yes, please consider subscribing. And if you found this video useful, you could always share it with your friends. This really helps us because yeah, we're really trying our best to create good content and really hope as many people as possible get to enjoy this. As you guys can see now, I'm working on the little muscle structures. And even on the tattoos. Really finding more part separation, and yeah, smoothing out the blends, and the miniature is almost finished. I hope that you enjoyed watching me paint today, as I have enjoyed painting this miniature, and I hope you can join us for more videos in the future. Thank you very much for watching. So this is the final result of Necromancer. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.
So, what do you think about the Orc Necromancer? I really like this miniature because it's a very basic and open boss and gives you a lot of opportunity to explore and for you to push your boundaries and make the miniature a lot more attractive. So, what do you think about this miniature? Let me know in the comments below. Do you find this tutorial useful? Also, just let me know in the comments below. Alright, so you guys know the drill. Like, subscribe and all the other stuff because it really helps the channel. And if you can afford it, become a patron today. Become a $2 patron and you get a lot of extended play footage from us. And I would love to have you support us so that we keep generating awesome content like this. I'd like to thank all my patrons for allowing me to do this, and I hope to see you in the next video. See you!